Hello everyone and welcome to the topic of architectural principles. In this we are going to discuss about the principles for the architectural framework of the ZSM. The main goal of ZSM, what is the main goal of this, is to enable zero-touch automated network and service management, and this is all possible, should be possible in a multi-vendor environment. So the main goal of ZSM that they can enable zero-touch automated network and service management in a multi-vendor environment. So it introduces a number of architecture principles which are applicable to the ZSM framework reference architecture. So the principles basically guide the way. They guide the way of designing the architecture to achieve the design goal. So in order to allow the fully automated network and service management. So it has various principles, like principle 1 is modularity. So a modular architecture avoids all the monoliths and tight coupling. Basically, this architecture consists of self-contained, loosely coupled services, and each with the confined scope, and this scope interacts all over the well-defined interfaces. This is the very first principle of modularity. So principle 1 is modularity. Next, principle 2 is extensibility. Principle 2, extensibility. An extensible architecture allows the addition of new services, service capabilities, and service endpoints. So allows the addition of new services, service capabilities, service endpoints, and without breaking backward compatibility and all the requiring changes to the existing designs, implementations, and various interactions. So this is the second principle. Moving to the third, we are having as a scalability. So a scalable architecture allows deployments that can be adapted to satisfy the increasing or decreasing demand of the managed entity and to various scales of geographic distribution of these entities. So based on the principle of modularity, so modules can be independently deployed and scaled. So fourth principle is model driven and open interfaces. This is an architecture that is based on model driven approach. This basically performs the management of services and resources through the use of information models, and these models that can capture the definition of managed entities in terms of attributes and all the supported operations. So in this an architecture which is based on the model driven approach, it performs the management of services and resources and through the use of various information models, and these information models that capture the definition of these managed entities in terms of attributes and supported operations. So the models are defined independent from the implementation of these entities, and this is basically in order to facilitate the portability, reusability, and to allow the vendor neutral management of resources and services. Fifth principle is closed loop management automation. This is basically a feedback driven process, as it is a closed loop. So this is a feedback driven process, and it seeks to reach and preserve a set of objectives without any intervention which is external to the loop. So this is the fifth principle. Sixth one is support for stateless management functions. The architecture supports inclusion of management functions that separates the processing from the data storage. Seventh principle is resilience. The management services are basically designed to, as far as possible, provide and maintain the configurable levels of their functionality in face of the degradation of infrastructure and other services. They also have the ability to return to normal operation when the degradation has been totally resolved. Eighth principle is separation of concerns in management. In this framework, the two different management concerns are distinguished: domain management and end-to-end service management across the management domains. There can be hierarchy of management domains. The end-to-end cross-domain service management basically manages the end-to-end services, and these services spans the multiple management domains. Further, in the separation of concerns in management, so it coordinates between management domains using the orchestration process. In this context, the end-to-end services may span the multiple management domains provided by different administrated entities. Decoupling of management domains and end-to-end service management across it avoids monolithic systems. It also allows to reduce the complexity of overall service, and it enables the independent evolution of each management domain. Principle 9 is service composability. This is basically exposed by management domains, and they can be combined to create the new management services. So intent-based interfaces, like this is covered in principle 10. They aim to hide the complexity, technology and vendor specific details from the user by exposing the high level abstractions. These interfaces express the consumer request in a declarative form. Function 11 is functional abstractions. It is defined as the ability to generalize the behavior of the relative entities. So it supports various other principles such as replicability, scalability and composability. It supports scalability, composability, etc. Principle 12 is simplicity. It has a minimum complexity while still meeting the functional and non-functional requirements, all which are required. Then 13.1 is designed for automation. These framework components and functionalities supports the automation of the network and service management, and also the integration of technology evolutions. Thank you.